I had to feed my kid.
Okay, today is Tuesday, August 13th. We're going to start the technology committee meeting for Daniel Boone Area High School District. And we'll go around the room and introduce ourselves.
Julia Olafson.
Kevin Strobel.
Rob Hurley.
Brett Cooper. Preston McKnight. Scott Max.
Okay, let's jump right in.
Alrighty. First item, our 2019 summer project. So obviously halfway through August, we're pretty much bringing those to a conclusion one way or the other. Equipment deployment went well. Our both Dell and Apple equipment arrived within the time frame we were expecting. So we have completely finished the deployment of the Apple equipment. That was the iPad refresh at the primary center. And our Dell equipment, we're at about 95% deployment there, and 100% school ready as far as that equipment goes in the classrooms and in the school buildings. So overall, that went well. No major issues with equipment, no damaged units, anything else like that. So now it'll just be a matter of burying them in and seeing what any issues arise one way or the other there. On the telecommunication update. We completed the work we needed to as well in July. That was basically segmenting off this particular building so that we could have it as a separate unit before it was tied to the high school. That also went well for us, so that's operating as its own unique site, so that'll allow us now to engage with switching to a different vendor because we can operate all of our individual buildings as their own sites or as combined locations. They're not tied to one or the other. That was also a successful project for us.
Are they all their own servers or their own gateway points?
It's own phone switch, network switch, basically.
Own network switch. Okay.
Yep. There's an actual server that houses like the voicemail and different things, but the physical phones, it's basically a network switch then, and that is what had to happen.
Okay.
On the email migration, overall that went well. We'll see now as our faculty are coming back if they report any issues they hadn't reported to us over the summer. Over the 4 email boxes, we only had about a dozen with issues, and all those were rectified really just through a manual migration process. They just didn't happen in
I was surprised everything transferred so easily. I'm sure not as easily.
Some of it,
yeah.
It went smoother than we thought. But it was close to 3 million emails that had to be moved over, a couple 100,000 calendar invites. So it was a large quantity, and that only represents 2 years based on our retention policy. You can imagine if we didn't have that retention policy, how many more emails would go. But
Right.
Our server environment is now breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief because that's all that space now. Once we decommission our old email server, that's still online until we are fully confident that everything has been migrated over. But that'll be a substantial size and storage issue eliminated from us, and also just from system resiliency now. Should anything ever happen to the internet connection here, email continues to function. It's housed at Google, and also it gives us the ability to still push out alerts. One of our primary means of alerting people of issues is email, and it always really was somewhat of a challenge when the email server itself was inaccessible as far as getting messages out. So now we still have that ability to broadcast information out just because it's not housed here in the district any longer.
I have a question on the telecommunications. Last time we were together, we mentioned something about Ireton coming together. You were looking for a 30 to 50% reduction. Did any of that come through?
Yeah, Ireton and Zito both have good quotes. We left them in June to let them know what we were going to be doing in July and that we'd revisit with them in the fall.
So you're going to revisit both of those quotes in the fall?
Yeah, correct. More than likely really in September, so we can keep that moving forward for us. Because basically Thanksgiving and Christmas would be good time frames for us to cut over when buildings are not in use and that sort of thing. So that's kind of our time frame that we're looking to move things forward on that project.
Okay.
And on the file server migration, that was similar to the email migration, just taking things from on-site, moving them to Google Drive. That's largely wrapped up as well, and that was really just file copies. There's no major hurdles to really overcome in that regard, but that, again, has moved our file storage to Google Drive. No longer do we have any file constraints as far as the storage capacity. We have unlimited storage capacity, and we also have that much more availability now. Previously, we had to rely on a VPN connection to connect it into district resources. Now, those resources are available really anywhere the person has an internet connection via iPhone, iPad, or from a laptop computer, wherever else. So we're pleased really with the availability of from that as well.
How much did you have to move in terms of total space for file migration?
It was about 2 terabytes.
Okay, that's not bad at all.
It's not too bad. It's mostly just the quantity of files. And that I don't know the exact quantity, but
It's not important, I just,
yeah,
it's one of those.
a couple folders we hit, a lot of individual files, and that just kills you as we're sitting there watching the progress
Right.
bar. So those ran over the weekend.
Okay.
Basically what happened. But yeah, so overall from our summer project perspective, we're happy with that. The only thing, actually, just a mistake on my part, I left off the server equipment that came in late July, so that equipment is actively being deployed. That wasn't deliberately scheduled for a summer project because we were waiting on E-rate approval, and we never know when that's going to come in. So it came in a little later than we wanted to, but again, we left that as a flexible time schedule. So we'll get in what we can this summer, and then we handle those replacements all for the rest of it. But what we have deployed so far has been going well as well for us.
Last year, we had talked about reprioritizing printing needs and maybe reducing printers and also going to leases more than purchasing.
Yep.
Is that, is what you're going to do for this school year complete?
For the printers?
Yeah.
In progress. So we've been working with Mrs. Haynes in the business office with that overall contract, so that eliminates all of the printers in the district, and the copiers are coming in place. So they're actively, Strax is actively setting up the equipment.
Okay.
It's not in district yet.
Okay.
Yep. Any summer project questions on that front?
Yeah, went well.
On the My Learning Plan, the front line, so that was the online professional development, the employee evaluations, and the video library. That project is also moving along. We've wrapped up the setup of the evaluation piece. On Thursday, we should have conclusion of the professional development and video component of that as well. Largely, that was form entry and that sort of thing. So the next steps then will be introducing it to our faculty, showing them the processes and the resources that they'll now have available via that video library in particular for them.
Yeah, you were hoping to be online before school, so you right dead smack
Yep,
on.
and fortunately for us, particularly the professional development component of that is a nice modular basis, so we can roll that out in deliberate chunks for them. That it's not you have to unveil everything at the exact moment. They have it segmented nicely, so we can do deliberate review with them on here's how you request your PD, here's how you can enter your credits, and that sort of thing. So we're looking forward to having that. I think that's actually going to be a really nice streamlined component for us once that is deployed within the next couple of weeks there.
Is that the professional development piece?
Yeah, yep. Anytime we can have single portals for everyone to go into, usually that's a welcome change. So one less username they have to remember, one less interface they have to learn. So I think that'll be a really good position for us. On the student information side, with your agenda, I have the latest preliminary estimate from the BCIU, where you can see the total implementation service fee and then the recurring costs. The recurring annual fees are in line with our eSchool piece, and that is really as expected to communicate from the IU. What we're looking at on those implementation fees are the one-time fees we'll be looking at for that implementation of Infinite Campus. You'll notice there's the online registration component, so our families will be able to register really from the comfort of their homes online. That'll be a digital process rather than paper and pencil that we have right now. And you'll also see that they have a nice, let me see if it's under the recurring fees, data change tracker. That is for auditing purposes, that every piece of data in Infinite Campus is audited who changed it. That's been one of the frustrating components with eSchool. Some of the areas will log the most recent person, but you can't necessarily see what was changed, and you don't necessarily have that trailing history. So those were really huge advantages over eSchool compared to our current capabilities that, A, from a convenience perspective, but also B, just from an accountability and perspective as well with Infinite Campus. They have a couple other modules that we'll more likely look at throughout the year. Currently, obviously, we have My School Bucks for online fees. Infinite Campus has its own component for that, if we so choose. Their guidance is not to roll out all these modules all at once. It's a hefty project as is. So we're following their guidance as far as working our way into the system. And they're also actively making some changes to some of those modules as well. So
When's the old one go away?
so it'll be this. I would like to bring to you in September for actual recommendations.
Right.
In September. eSchool will obviously be online for this school year. We'll be managing all of our content in that. And then the migration will start late fall, early winter, with eSchool being sunsetted for the next school year in 2021.
Okay.
So they'll largely through the winter and spring of 2020, they're going to coexist with new data, schedules, everything like that.
What was the other one called again?
eSchool.
eSchool.
Yep. So they'll coexist nicely, syncing. One of the advantages of working through the IU is that sync, that our data can coexist in the two systems. And it'll be a lot of that, really sanitizing the data, make sure how things are rendered in eSchool. There's some slight changes to how that looks in Infinite Campus, so we'll be working through all of that.
So is the data change tracker the only thing that was additionally we didn't have last time?
Yeah, that's
the
correct.
new one.
And online registration, we do not have that with eSchool currently either.
Oh, I knew we didn't have it for eSchool, but I'm saying, but we talked about this before.
Oh, correct, yes.
Because
yes,
we
yep.
talked about the online registration. That was one of
Yep.
the big things that you want, and that was one of the big advantages.
Yep, you got it.
And you're concerned with the data change tracker. I know, like, there's a bunch of them out there that, I'm trying to think of the storage, I can't think of it right now, Dropbox. And so, somebody goes in and makes a change, 25 days later, they can delete your documents, you can still pull them back. Is
Yep.
that similar to that?
Yeah,
So
that's
if somebody
basically
makes a change, you
exactly
can go
what it
back to a different version. Nobody has to keep adding dates to it.
You
You
got
can
it.
still name the same file, but you
Yep.
have the old ones there.
You got it. Yep.
Oh,
It's
okay.
logging usernames, is logging the old value, the new value for us.
Okay.
Yeah, it's helpful in situations, either A, where just general typographical mistakes were made, that someone hit save, you realize it's wrong. Well, what was that old value? We have no way to necessarily go pull that value.
Right.
And it's also helpful just in general, particularly like custodial issues or different things to see, all right, when was mom removed for
Okay.
Whatever reason, that sort of thing, just to have
Okay.
that full history of our students.
But there's no implementation fee for that, it's just the annual fee?
Yeah,
It's part of?
Correct, correct.
That's really good.
Beyond that, the training, everything like that, that really comes standard with the implementation. That's what all the districts receive. And then year over year, the on-site training is what we use for either refreshers with our teachers or just coming out with the office staff. Really, the IU is pretty liberal actually with that time. We've had them out more than 2 days, and they really work with us on that front.
Right. So do you think there'll be much training expense there involved?
I believe what you see is what we'll be talking with other districts that matches up.
Okay.
So the expense is included in that implementation already. I don't believe we're going to need something above and beyond that. It's mostly going to be a train-the-trainer model, so we'll identify
Right.
kind of a vanguard group, and they'll work with the rest of the faculty, the office staff, and that sort of thing.
That's good.
Any questions on that one? I'm going to skip over the website just for last because that's what I am going to project, so we'll circle back to that in a second. On the high school student iPad distribution, ready to rock and roll on that front. The iPads have been updated, they've been reconfigured, they're ready for deployment. For our 10th through 12th graders, they'll be waiting for them in their homerooms. We have those separated out already for them. As promised, they will receive the same iPad that they turned in June in the summer. And then for our 9th graders, they're going to largely follow the same process we did last year. They'll come down, get their iPad checked out, and then go back to their homeroom to do the...
Will they get their iPads day one?
What's that?
Day one?
Day one, yep.
Day one? That's great.
You got it. Yep, Mr. Spores has that scheduled.
Are we going to do a similar thing that what we did last year to make the first 2 days to kind of just be like orientation and including the handout of technology?
Yeah, so this year we have it condensed down to 1 day.
Yeah, well, you
yeah.
needed more time,
But
I'm
yeah,
sure,
that's a
the first day.
admin day type thing, yeah.
The first year we had iPads, I'm sure we needed the extra time, but.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I thought, I had
four
heard
grades
that, I had
versus
heard
one,
that
yeah.
it worked really well. you
Yeah,
know,
we overall
having
were
it that
pleased.
way.
Yeah, it did go well. It went in some ways
It went
better than we expected.
It went so well. Some of the kids said that they didn't need it. My kids said that they didn't need all that time.
That's-
So it went
yeah,
very,
better
very
than
well. Yeah,
expected,
yeah, which is
So,
great.
Yeah, so we're.
That's a testimony to their knowledge
Well, my
too, as
kids
well.
didn't
I mean,
work.
obviously,
So she needed the extra time.
organizing it. It was well organized. The release went very, very well. But I'm saying the kids are doing well with it too.
Yeah,
Totally.
so, yeah, we're looking forward to year two. I mean, after the kids had it, other than, our ninth graders.
By the way,
what's that? Yeah. No,
They don't want it again. Same one. Give them a different
No,
one.
she's had it all summer. It's been working.
Yeah, well, that's another, nice
Yeah,
thing.
you had a lot of kids that have summer work.
What would
They
you
Yeah,
have
say?
some presents
What would you
summer.
say the percentage was that kept them?
About 25% had them already.
That's great.
So that's a testament to our students' course load. That shocking to me that was slightly more than we thought we'd have to turn around so quick in June. But kudos to our students for taking on that responsibility over the summer. So we have that many more already out in the hands of students that are already working through it. So come day one, we have our freshmen and then just the rest of the student body to balance out. So it should be, we're feeling pretty good about the first day again. Any questions on that? Otherwise, I'll fire up the projector and we'll take a look at the new website.
Middle school.
Middle school, so the faculty will
That's
be
right.
receiving their PD, professional development throughout this school year, and then middle school students will remain on target for the
Following year.
following school year.
Okay.
Yes.
And so most of the teachers had them all summer.
Yeah,
Some?
I'd say about 2/3.
2/3 of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
they had the option to receive it before they left, or they'll get it when they come back for this school year. 2/3 of them
Okay.
opted for it. The remainder will get them as they're coming back into the district.
And how do you feel? We don't even have hardware and any of that stuff in, or is that already in for the teachers?
It's in, yeah.
Okay, it's in already. Yep,
Yep,
good.
Yep,
Yeah.
they're rocking and rolling there, so. And then they'll train, we'll start that in September as well, and that'll be basic introductory things, how to project their iPad, how to navigate it, and as we build up, we'll work through Schoology and just, SAMR model as far as integration goes, get them familiar with G Suite, which the middle school computer teachers are covering in computer class as well, so they'll be comfortable navigating it from a desktop, laptop perspective, and then we'll tag in, obviously, with the iPad component as well. So.
Great.
Are you continuing at the high school to have a teaching staff member being available to help teachers, like with any issues
Oh,
that they have?
Mrs. Treehouse continues to serve.
Will you do something similar with a teacher at the middle school?
That'll be a discussion for us internally, how we can handle that.
Okay.
So,
Great.
yeah. All right, let's fire up the website. You guys get to see the first look at it.
Hold on.
From large public.
If we're really, really still, maybe the lights will go out for us.
So our anticipated launch date will be
Stop breathing.
this Friday. We'll transition this over for everyone. We feel this will be a welcome change by the community. Hopefully much easier to navigate for them, and just much more technologically relevant to them as well from a mobility aspect. Sounds good. Fire the guy up. Right now I'm looking at the homepage. We're going to make a couple minor tweaks to the homepage as you see it. So the Blazer News, we're actually going to move down so we can highlight our mission statement in a prominent fashion. And right now the tagline under here is just filler text from us. That has no relevance to Danny Boone at all. But from a navigation perspective, we've scaled it down and hopefully made it much more logical for our parents, that they don't have a maze of menus to navigate. So under administration, we have our assistant superintendents, our CFO, and Dr. Cooper's pages for parents to hop on. Under departments, self-explanatory there. Each of our administrative departments has a landing page that will be able to communicate out information to our community. Under the Blazer Learning Community area, that's a combination of the old district info page as well as some general new information for our community to learn about us, whether prospective students coming in or just our current families, that there'll be a central area. So,
Hey, student registration.
exactly.
That's on that.
Yeah, currently, paper and pencil, but in the next year,
That's
we'll
nice.
look forward to having that be an online link as well. But once our comprehensive plan obviously is approved by the board and PDE, that'll be housed under the Blazer Learning Community area as well. So all of our families, anyone moving into district, can learn about our mission, vision, and values. And then under resources, we've broken it out to make it simple for our students, for our parents, for our Blazer community as well. So, for example, if we hop under for our students, we have just generic links for them to easily access. So, safe to say, obviously, is a critical component through Pennsylvania for our students to report any bullying, self-harm. We have links for our student benchmarking, for Schoology for our students. And again, we have safe to say download for our elementary students and student benchmarking as well. So it's a simple area for them to come and click in. Similarly for our parents, we have our annual disclosures up there for them. And we've also created a centralized forum library for them to come in and access. Good example would be our PIAA physical paperwork, and the activity fee forms are frequently requested ones. Similarly,
It's a download only?
Correct. Yep, these are all PDFs. Yes. Similarly, our registration forms are housed here for our families to access, and our transportation form is similarly easily accessible for them, which is the topic of the conversation on VRDB. So they will be able to easily access the transportation form once we launch here. If I pop out over here, we have our menu for our schools. And we've standardized our school navigation as well as we move from school to school. So our parents who have a first grader, a fourth grader, and maybe someone in middle school finds the same navigation across the buildings as applicable to them. Obviously, athletics is not at the primary center. But if we hop on the high school as an example, similar layout as our district homepage, and home, our school, a section for our students, a section for our parents. Activities, athletics being one of those things that is more common to our secondary buildings, and an area for library. We also have one of the frequent requests from the website survey was easily identifying the cycle day for parents, so we've made that prominent for them. And we've also included these individual tiles for parents to call attention to important things. And these tiles are on the home page, and we'll hop off in a second to a sub-page, and you'll find that those follow throughout the site. So key details will always be just a single click away for our parents. These are customized on the needs of each individual building. So at the high school, obviously, we have a couple of different fees. So we've called attention to My School Bucks for our families. And as we scroll down, we've also added the calendar events for them to easily access. A quick reference. This was also based on feedback from our parents in the survey that they wanted to be able to easily identify what is the attendance phone number or the email address, how do I reach the counseling office and the nurse's office. So we've made that information available to them directly on the homepage. In addition to the contact information for each building is on every page within their site at the bottom of it, as well as their social media links and Peachjar for the digital flyers. So we hop under our school. We have welcome messages from every building principal and assistant principal, just welcoming them to the school community, giving them some basic contact information, a little bit about themselves, to hopefully make it a little bit more personable, rather than just a sterile environment for them. And as we're hopping off onto the subpage, you can see right up here, orange box for Find It Fast. That's where we can access those quick links again from any location within their individual site. We've made sure to include the student handbook for every building. Pending board approval, these will all reflect for the new school year, but they're accessible directly within the website. So you do not have to download the individual copy. You can view that right within the website at any time. Or parents can still download this copy, but again, based on the feedback, they didn't like having to click through so many areas, so this document viewer directly on the website helps eliminate that just one additional click that they were facing. Similarly, to the helpful forms you saw in the parent section. Each building has their own area to have their forms, and we've also recreated that form library again. So we're trying to put the same information in multiple spots. Everyone navigates the website in different ways, so trying to have it in as many locations as possible for parents was key. These forms all tie back to a single location, so if we update them in one location, it's going to push out to the 3 or 4 locations they are on our website. So you don't have to find just that one location where that form was hiding. We tried to make it available in a number of locations for our parents. The for students and for parents area is customized based on the needs of the individual school. So in terms of the high school, we obviously have called attention to the educational pathways in our dual enrollment program. The Freshman Leadership Network is obviously key up at the high school. The one thing, actually, I noticed just myself here, we'll be calling attention to the internship program as well via this link. Obviously, Schoology, quick link for them, and we've made it easily accessible for the Student Assistance Program for students. So these are just areas for them to quickly jump off into key sections of our website, or they can navigate further, for the school counseling office, for example, and hit the entire list of resources available to them on the site.
Yeah, one thing that I was looking at with Dr. Cooper.
Yeah.
Should we have the counselors, the Alpha counselors link, like right there on that kind of big open space?
We can, yeah,
Their
absolutely.
emails in there, and then, parents, because sometimes they have a hard time getting to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and parents sometimes forget which is their student's
Right.
primary counselor. I know that they can always just call the guidance secretary,
Make
but
it more convenient.
Yeah.
That's convenience.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we can make the website a self-service location, that, that's just, again, another point of service that parents can find the information on their own. They're not sitting on a phone call or anything like that. So actually, as we're talking about parents, again, similar things for them. They have their Schoology link. Last year we had some confusion because the parents do have a separate link to go into Schoology, so we've made sure their link is directly under their location. We've provided a staff directory for them to easily look up faculty members. They can hop into Hack whenever they'd like. And again, under parent resources, we've included those similar links for helpful forms, online Gradebook, and Schoology. And Mr. Spores is going to build this out as the year goes on with any letters that go home or different things like that. He's going to be branding this as their parent portal, so to speak, so they can come into one central location and find out any of the information that has been distributed. Beyond that, some of the other additional features for it, it is mobile friendly, and I believe I can recreate that by shrinking this window, even though we're not on a mobile device. But the website will condense down, so a little bit easier to navigate from a mobile device. A lot of the information here, when we get into news, calendar, announcements, those will also automatically push to our district mobile app. But you can see it's a simple interface for the teachers or the parents to click around on a mobile device, pop out menu for them. So we're no longer constrained to just a desktop computer or laptop visibility. It is a responsive site depending on the screen resolution. And zoom back in here. Go back over here. And the other frequently requested thing from the website survey was one central calendar for parents to be able to
What
download.
did you call that area where all the icons were?
What's that?
What did you call that one area where it's going to follow them around?
We can call it the home row.
Oh.
We don't have a good brand.
I didn't know. Yeah, I thought you called it something. I was just.
On the back end, officially,
I wanted-
it's the
I wanted to-
global icons.
I wanted to reference it. It's the
So you-
global
Yes,
icons.
global
okay.
icons is the configuration for it. And they are global because they follow you throughout the site. But,
so I'm sorry. So what were you saying about the calendar?
Yep, so our calendar now,
sorry.
we do
That's
have
okay.
all the events from the
Thought I
individual
missed
buildings rolling up to one central location, or similarly from a district level, we can push out things like the teacher incident or state or school closures down to the calendar. So
Did parents comment? Was one of their comments to make those to make the windows for each day bigger, so you don't just see like one thing, you
Yeah.
know? Because it looks like you've done that. I don't know if it'll look that way on my phone, but Like-
Again, it does depend on the individual screen.
Because like right now with the smaller ones, even with the app,
Yeah.
there could be like with all the different buildings, there could be like 8 things going on, and I
Yeah.
only see 2. And it is what it is.
Yeah, one of the nice things with their calendar system is we can actually, parents can come in and customize. So right now I'm showing for the entire district, but they can actually
It's
come
entirely too fancy for me.
in. What's that?
Entirely too fancy for me. Won't use that at all.
Yeah. They can filter out all of the-
Set it up the way I like it for me.
So, they only want to see just the high school. They're
Right.
welcome
No,
to
that's
the
great.
primary
No,
center.
that's nice.
Yep, and again, they can, and this was the other piece, a print-friendly version, so they can print this out if they so choose. However, I will point them to the Blazer Foundation calendar as well, shamelessly, to support for us. And they can also link this directly to their phone if they would like to have it in their own personal calendar rather than relying on the mobile app or something of that nature. So,
Are all documents that are currently stored, they're all forms and stuff, are they all stored as PDFs?
yes, yes.
Because right now, our current website, there's like a jumble of, like, there's some Google Docs and there's some, and I only noticed that because I'm not allowed to open a Google Doc at my office.
Oh, gotcha.
So if somebody emails me something, I have to open it up on my phone,
Yeah.
and which is fine. It's just if it's standardized
Yeah,
to
with
some
this
degree,
migration.
it makes life easier.
Yeah, we made.
PDF's
we
open
take
for
great
everybody.
care for that, yeah, yep. Really, that's largely, that's really it. Again, looking at Friday for our launch, so.
Friday?
Friday, yeah, the 16th.
Can you go over to the school board
I can, yeah.
thing, or did you just migrate everything over the way it
Yeah,
was?
so
It looks,
from the school board-
that looks identical.
I was gonna say, from the school board section, yeah.
Then never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so Friday, it's one of those changes that does take a little bit of time to propagate out, so
Right.
in
Yeah.
addition, it'll be instant, but from
Right.
your home computer, you might see your cell phone gets it at, 2 o'clock on Friday, your home computer at 6 o'clock, but by the time, really the weekend rolls around, that'll propagate it out everywhere, that you'll start seeing the new site. And, similar to Google Drive and the email migration, again, it gives us just that much more resiliency. We even had some fun just on Wednesday. We had about a Thursday, we had a 5-10 minute period when we sent that hack phone call that transportation was open. Oh boy, was the web server screaming that everyone was heading in to get their information. Blackboard has a much more robust infrastructure to handle those sudden surges of visitors to it. So, and again, anything ever happens.
Chat
to our
help at all?
attention. What's that?
Chat help at all?
Chat help.
Yeah, during the day, like somebody.
From Blackboard's perspective?
From this website.
No, actually, no. That is not a functionality we have
Okay.
currently. No.
And if it would save the phone call sometimes, just
Interesting idea.
it's a phone call. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
same person is just getting it just a little differently.
Yeah. I mean, that would be an interesting discussion.
I mean, 11 days before the school year starts, you're changing the website, so the phone's going to ring.
One step at
The
a time.
phone's going to ring. I mean, and I think it's very easy to navigate. I really do. I like it a lot. I mean, a lot of your new sites are heading down this path now. It's real clean.
This launch is Friday, you might want to send it to that.
Hmm?
Yeah.
It's an excellent job.
You could
Absolutely.
tell.
So you know the website has been launched.
Yep. Yeah, we absolutely can do that. Yeah. And we, the other major, other than usability, one of the other project or goals of the project was accessibility. So with the launch of this, we come into full ADA compliance as well.
So the average user is going to go in. They're going to log on as them first before they even start navigating around, and their stuff will follow them, kind of.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep, correct.
that's great.
Yep. So we're pleased to start the year off with the new look, new feel for it, and again, we're hoping that we touched on a number of the pieces of information that we received back from the community, or we will continue to grow as we're adding additional content. So
No, it's really nice.
this should become a nice central portal for us.
It'll make it easier too for for them to, a learning curve for them, because somebody coming up through elementary, by the time they get to high school, they're going to be real familiar
Yes.
with your page. I mean, it's laid out, all this, as they, maybe by then you'll change it again, but, oh, you get my point.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Great job.
And the search functionality is better than the old one?
Yeah, it's actually Google search is what the provider is for the website in the background, so it'll crawl the whole site just like Google crawls the internet itself.
Okay.
Blackboard utilizes that search engine, so
Okay.
yeah, you can't really beat Google
No,
as far
that's
as the
fine.
provider goes.
I used to go out to Google if I needed to find a form that I couldn't find on the site because the site search didn't work that great.
Yeah, that way I think, and all the content, as far as like even PDFs and everything housed directly under the site, those will be similarly searchable then as well.
Okay.
We have that on recording too, about Google.
I was hoping you didn't hear, because after I heard it, I thought, oh, I said that to the wrong company. Oh, man. So, yeah, that, as far as the site goes,
Excellent work.
that's about it.
Yeah.
This looks great.
It's really nice.
The only other item I had here on the agenda was the digital document storage. I just had that listed as no changes because that is a project we're kicking off in the fall. So server hardware, everything is in place for that. That's just, we have a call middle of September, I'm going to say September 12th, to start that project. So I'm going to start hearing more from me about that in October as we begin to ramp that up. That is all I have for this month.
And I have no additional questions, Jim.
I'm good.
Excellent. And we don't have to take anything to the board, so we're safe.
That's true.
No requests. No money. Okay. And we are ending the technology meeting at 6:48.